Welcome to the Building Business Podcast. You're here with Dan and Jay, where we talk all things business, battles, and balance.
With over 27 years in real estate, Lyndall Allan proudly founded Salt Property in 2022. Salt has grown into the number one agency in the region. Lyndall was also named number one agent in the city. She leads a powerhouse team of 17 women who share her vision, energy, and dedication. Lyndall, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you haven't listened to too many podcasts, but I always ask a random question at the start.
Okay.
Would you backflip off top tower, or would you rather swim with sharks? Because technically you do both.
Well, that's very true. I'd probably...
It's got to be a backflip.
Yeah, probably backflip.
You would backflip. Top tower. I could jump. I could dive. Backflip. It's a recipe for disaster.
Actually, yeah, nah.
And then you got to go, what
sharks.
type of sharks?
Yeah, no. Oh, that's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think sharks, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, sharks.
You do swim with sharks. We'll talk about that in a second.
I do.
You also jump off walls in the pool. So
I do that, yes.
So tell me, was real estate always going to be your thing? I mean, you've 27 years.
Yeah.
Was it like, that's what I want to do? That's my gift?
No, not at all, actually. So I kind of fell into it by accident. So I finished school and wasn't very great at school, books, and wasn't the smartest tool in the shed, to be honest. But I managed to scrape in and got into uni to be a preschool teacher. So I had a gap year from school and worked out pretty quickly that I was willing to work hard. And what I realised is that I was working harder than everybody else, but I was getting paid the least. So at 18, I thought I need a job where I'm rewarded for the hard work. And so at 19 then, I volunteered at a local real estate and they offered me a full-time job and I've been doing it ever since. So, yeah, pretty much fell into it, had a natural gift to the gab, loved it, loved the industry, and yeah, it's been really good to me.
Yeah, nice. And preschool, like, what was that like?
I love kids. I always love little kids, and yeah, it was sensational. I actually moved to London when I was 21 and I kind of took it back up again. I was a nanny for 4 years, but it's good to have a break before you have your own and all of that sort of thing. And yeah,
you love kids until you don't.
Yeah, that's true.
And sometimes with your own kids, it's nearly like, okay, I've had enough now.
Yes, that's it.
And so yeah, you became a junior in a real estate business. What was your first sort of exposure? Was it like instant love with real estate, or was it like, oh, I'm just doing a job now? Like, what was that?
No, I think I instantly had a connection for it. I mean, it was 1999, sounding very old, but it was before even real estate and domain was even invented. So it was very different. Yeah. We used to have to go and take the photos ourselves, take it to like Rabbit Photos or something, develop it, and then the newspaper would pick it up, and that's how you advertise. So it was very different. I had zero training. They literally pretty much threw me the yellow pages and said, start ringing and find a listing. And so I loved the challenge, and just meeting different people, being able to kind of have a goal and work towards it worked really well with me. But, I just found I was good at talking to people and making them feel comfortable, and it's a relationship business, real estate, and, yeah, that's the part I loved about it.
That was back in the era of the old dial dialing, you know?
Yeah.
And LJ Hooker, and
yeah, it's
changed so much. So, like, 27 years in the industry, you talked about no domain or realestate.com. What's some of the other big changes like that you've seen?
So many. So back in the day, like there's a lot of cowboys out there. Compliance wasn't really much of a thing. Now it's governed so strong. As a business owner, it's a bloody pain in the butt, not going to lie, and it's probably gone too far in one degree. But, you know, not everybody loves a real estate agent, and that's because that needed to change, and they were, working outside of the rules. So that is a good thing. But even like social media, for example, that's something I lean really heavily into. 10 years ago, that wasn't a thing, and now it's a huge tool for us. So real estate has changed so much, and you've really got to change with it. Which is something I think we've done really well. I've very much leaned into a modern approach of selling and thought, how can my properties get in front of other people, not just putting it on Real Estate and Domain, but everything, the coaching, the training, the dialogue, the systems. It's very different, but it is such a great industry. I do love it.
Do you remember your first sale?
I do.
Tell us about that.
It was.
Were you nervous? Like, was that a thing? Like, where you were just like, nah, that's my first. It's got to work. Sorry, first listing versus first sale. Was it the same one? You did both?
No. So the first sale was for the principal of the business. And I grew up out in Western Sydney, like Penrith, where I grew up on acreage in Castlereagh. So, motorbikes was my thing, and a bit of a farm sort of girl. And the company that I worked for was selling acreage properties, and it was just something, the lifestyle that I knew. And I remember it was a Beechwood home. It was on 2.25 acres, and I took some buyers through, and they made me an offer, and I got all excited and told the vendors, oh my God, I got an offer. And then they're like, oh, you're not actually meant to do it that way. You're meant to do it this way. But I just remember being so excited, and it just sort of, lit the spark, and off she went.
Away she went. Now, little time later, eventually you hit a point where you're like, I'm going to have the whole gap year, if you like, and decided to travel Australia. Not a gap year, a gap couple of years. Is that right?
Yeah. So I always knew I wanted to travel, always had a bit of an adventurous spirit. So I studied my real estate license, became an auctioneer, and then when I was 21, finished my course, sold my car, dumped my boyfriend of 2 years, and bought a one-way ticket to London.
No way.
Yeah, I remember it was 10 days before Christmas, and my family are like, what the hell is she doing? And none of my friends or my family had done that. It's a long time ago now, and it was the best thing ever. So I bought a one-way ticket, didn't know one person in the whole country, and ended up staying for 4 years. Met my beautiful husband, Reese. He's Kiwi, and we travelled nearly 50 countries and just had the time of our lives. So it was pretty incredible.
The shackles are off moment sort of thing, right? Everything that you were connected to, all right, I'm released from that. And
there's a real freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
There's carnies that can go with it, but that's the thrill of the fight,
isn't
it?
Yeah, there's plenty of that. There's plenty of that, but yeah, it's a special time. I think travelling is something everyone should do. It's just there's such a big, wide world out there, and the people you meet and the experience you have, I think it changes you as a person. I think it changed me. I think it made me incredibly confident, and that's probably helped me in my real estate career as well. But just having that free spirit it's pretty cool.
What's your craziest story while travelling? Have you got one?
Jeez.
There's normally a few, but surely there's one that stands out.
Craziest story. Oh, there's too many. Probably too many I can't tell you about, actually. Oh, look, it was just fun and games and meeting incredible people, and where you might end up on a night out, that sort of stuff. Or, there's not one specific one that I can think of, but yeah, there are lots of good memories.
Well answered, well played.
Yes, pleading the fifth.
At some point you go, hey, it's time to head home, and there's no place like Newcastle, I guess?
Well, I wasn't from here, so I've been here 20 years, so Nellie and Nova Castrium, but so when we moved back to Penrith, but really wanted the coastal lifestyle and couldn't afford Sydney. So once again, my husband and I moved to Newcastle. We did not know one person, and we bought our first house, and that was 2006. So I got a job working in a local real estate business where I stayed for 16 years, so a really long time. And yeah, we started our lives here and have never looked back.
Because, I mean, real estate is relationships. So coming from somewhere you didn't grow up, you know, you don't have that start of sport and school and different things. So you would have really had to earn it in the beginning.
Yeah, that's so true. And you know what Newcastle's like. It's like a big country town. Everybody knows everyone, and not knowing anyone. And like you say, I didn't go to school here. My parents went here, my friends, I didn't play sport. All of those connections I left behind. So I had to really start from scratch. But I think I've had to reinvent myself, and I've had to really fight my whole career. But I think even at school, like, I wasn't very good at school, and to do well, I had to really commit and study. And I think because I've always had to kind of really fight for something, I think that has made me a good agent in a way. Nothing has ever come easy. And so, yeah, I knew how to apply myself, and Newcastle's been really, really good to me, but I've just had to work a lot harder than everybody else. And yeah.
Working hard, I'd take that every day over, you know, skills.
Well, they say, and I believe, and this is how I hire, that, natural talent versus work ethic. I'll take the work ethic any day.
Yeah. Because the other thing too is you're willing to do the hard stuff. You're willing to learn something.
Yeah.
You know, and that's harder to develop work ethic than it is skills. You know, and if you've got work ethic, you tend to develop the skills quite easily afterwards, I'd say. So at some point you go, do you know what? I've done this locally for someone else, and you went, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
What was the thought process in the beginning? Like there's always that, I guess, rip in, be the best agent I can be, but there's some point you go, I want it to be my brand.
Yeah, it was probably one of the most agonising and hardest decisions that I had to make, and I had been very loyal to the same brand for a long time. All my business, the entire career I had in Newcastle, were tied at that one agency. Every sale, every contact, everything was there. But I just knew that it was time to move on. I have 3 kids and had stopped and started a lot with the kids, and we travelled Australia for a couple of years, and I just got to a point where I thought I've gone as far as I can here, and it was my turn to do it my way. The thought was work from home, spend maybe a bit more time with my kids, and work half as much, like do half as much. But
typical business owner, you know.
Yeah, that certainly hasn't happened.
And so what was the first step? I mean, yes, you register a business name. Yes, you build a website. But just talk us through those early stages. Like, what was the setup like?
The setup was pretty crazy because it's like learning another language. You know, I can sell real estate with my eyes closed, but setting up a business and what's involved was like a completely different language. Things like coming up with the name, that was probably the hardest part. And something I would say even on that, you've really got to trust your gut in business, and I think it's something that I do listen to all the time, and it guides me well. So even with the name of the business, you know, it's Salt Property, everyone from my business coaches, marketing managers, mindset coaches, friends, family, they're like, you've got to call it after yourself, Lyndall Allan. And I just really didn't want to. I felt like it was a bit wanky, to be honest. I wanted it to be more boutique-y. I stuck to my guns and called it Salt, and I wanted that beautiful, vibrant colour, and it was one of the best things I did. Now that, even though it was just me, now that it's a big team, we're actually up to 22, soon to be 23 next week.
I've got old data.
Yeah, old data. We need to update that.
It's too fast moving.
I've got 8 agents, and they can work under the brand. That's not just me, you know. So trusting your gut in the beginning was really, really important. But it was It was full on, like the hours I still do now is ridiculous. But I was certainly running on adrenaline for a long time, probably still am 4.5 years later, but it'll come down one day.
It sucks, but so many businesses aren't considered simply due to their brand. Either no branding or poor branding causes the consumer to perceive them as small, lesser quality, cheaper, or not good at what they do. This is why C Business Solutions came up with a professional marketing package so businesses can set up a professional brand quickly and easily without it consuming their lives or their budget. Go to the C Business Solutions website or click the link in the show notes to get your brand sorted. You talk about the adrenaline part because there's excitement, there's energy, it's my thing, it's got to work. Then there's this sort of moment where you go, I can't do that forever. You need to start to develop systems and culture and build a framework that is not just you and your energy.
Yes.
I guess, how have you done that, or did you recognise that, and what's that framework look like?
Oh, look, I'm a control freak like most business owners, but, the good old saying, you've got to let go to grow. And I got advice from another dear friend of mine, and he knew I was a control freak, and he said, look, if somebody can do it as 80% as good as you, then that's okay. Otherwise, you'll never be able to grow. And that was really great advice. But I've learned so much, and I'm still learning. Like, I've made a bazillion mistakes, but I guess that's how you learn. But it growing so quickly, and me being a lead agent too, so many balls in the air. You have to make fast decisions. You have to trust your staff. You have to trust your gut. Have to listen to people around you. And you've got to lean into the relationships, people that have been in business and made the mistakes before, like talk to them. But yeah, it's certainly been a wild ride. I'm still faking it till I make it. It certainly feels like that anyway. And I still find it hard to believe that it's gone as big as what it has, and very grateful for it though.
And I mean, it's in fairness, a lot easier now in real estate. Because before it was the licensing, the systems, the thing you'd have to build from scratch or buy into. Whereas now, from what I hear, more cloud-based remote setups and access to stuff that you can tap into, it's a lot easier, isn't it?
It's so much easier. Yeah, there are a lot of companies out there now that will start up with the back end. And that's exactly how I started for the first 12 months. And they will, organise your legals, for example, or pay your wages, help with the marketing, that sort of thing, which gives people the confidence to go out there and have a crack on their own. And some of them are really good systems. We outgrew it pretty quick, but it does give people an opportunity to kind of dive in where there never used to be like that before.
So then you go develop your own systems then once you hit a certain scale?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Was that like?
Scary.
Yeah.
Really scary.
Big investment, time and money, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it definitely is, because you need more staff, but also things like trust accounting. That's where agents get into lots of trouble if you get that wrong. So you're taking on more risk. But for me, there was just more value in doing it all in-house, and yeah, it was the right decision.
Own the IP, own the outcome, all that
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
just have more control as well. Like with somebody else pushing the buttons in the background, things mightn't happen as efficiently or to a level or a standard that you want. So being able to I guess, going back to the control freak, but I've always had an incredibly high standard of everything that's gone out, and just I think that's been a good thing. It's that you get one chance to set a standard, and it's got to be the best you can.
That's a good point, because you're right. You're one of, make it up, 10,000 agents, let's say, utilising the same service, which means you're in the queue.
Exactly.
And whereas, hey, I'm going to ring somebody in the office, can you jump on this now, get it done because it needs to happen.
Yeah.
That's the difference, yeah?
It is a difference. And as well, it's so much more personal. Like if somebody rings and wants to talk to somebody that are in my office versus somebody that's in another state, it's just not as, I don't think it's as professional, but it certainly has its place. But as you get bigger, it doesn't work as well.
And so we talked about setup, we talked about brand. did you always target the top end of town? Because you've positioned yourself quite well there, and it is attracting the right, I guess, seller and buyer.
Yes.
Was that a strategy?
No. I don't know what my strategy was, to be honest with you. I was selling some really nice homes when I left my previous employer, but I wasn't the only one doing that. But what I think I have done incredibly well is market myself and my brand to the best of my ability, and I spent a lot of time and money investing in doing that properly and maximising the opportunities and using tools like social media. Social media I love for real estate. When you're sitting here one-on-one, I'm connecting with you one-on-one and I'm building that relationship. Through social media, you are connecting with sometimes 100,000 people with one post. And so being really raw and natural and educational, people feel like they get to know you and they get to trust you. So an example of that and how I got sort of skyrocketed into the high end, this is about relationships and I guess delayed gratification as well. I had one sale that changed my business, and that was 8 Burner Street in Merewether. I was 12 months in. And I had a phone call. I was still working out of the front room of my house. I had 3 staff. And this client I had worked with for about 10 years. I'd sold a couple of properties for them before. And they rang me and said, would you like to sell our house? And I was like, am I allowed to swear? Holy shit. I knew that this was the most expensive home in the whole region. And I couldn't believe they were giving me the opportunity. Anyway, I went to the house, we signed it all up, and I said that to them. I said, I'm so grateful, thank you so much. And they said, well, Lyndall, you've deserved this. You've worked hard on this relationship, and they didn't even interview any other agents. Now, that listing went on and broke the record in the entire region, and in Merewether's history still has the record. It was actually the highest sale in Australia that week. So from that high-end sale, that then became my leverage to go, that's what I want to do. From that, I got another one, then I got another one, then I got another one. And again, utilising and maximising everything I could off the back of it really kind of catapulted me into that. And yeah, that's where I sit. You just need that one person to change a life.
Because some people get that one opportunity and they don't take it with both hands. They don't jump at it. You did.
Yeah, I did.
This is my fork in the road, if you like, and you went down this way and you went, cool, here's my new strategy, new position, if you like, and you did it. And this is the thing too, from a business point of view, let's say you want to sell 100 homes. You might as well have the portion of the very expensive homes rather than the portion of the not so expensive homes. I know that's...
Yes and no, though.
Okay.
So the small fish is sweet.
Yes.
It might take, I've got big ones at the moment that I've had for 18 months.
Yes.
And that might be $10 million.
Versus the 30-day turnaround.
But I could sell 10 $1 million homes they'll be on the market for a week.
Yeah.
But you need the big ones for the profile for the business as well. So some of them are easier to sell and some of them are not, but the profile is good for the brand when it comes to the larger ones, and sometimes they're a bit more hard work, but I think it's really important to have a mix of everything.
It's true, because I guess you're hedging your bets in a way, and more relevant to now, the market, sub 1 million is moving quite quickly.
Correct.
Or still appealing.
Yeah.
Over $1 million isn't so much because the handbrake's gone on.
Yes.
Talk us through that. Do you love the new budget?
Do you know what? Yeah, it's been a very interesting few months in real estate. Like, obviously not my first rodeo, but I can't think of a time. Obviously, COVID was absolute. That was crazy on the other way. I'd never experienced anything as mental as that. But how the market has changed so quickly is shocking, really. Towards the end of last year, we'd had 3 rate drops. Everything was looking really positive. I was like, hallelujah. Because when I started SALT on the 31st of Jan, we had our first of 13 interest rate rise 4 weeks later.
Yeah, wow.
I was like, what have I done? But So then we have now had 4 rate rises. We've had the budget, we've had the war, we've had the cost of living, we've had petrol, we've had everything thrown at us, and there is a lot of uncertainty out there, and there definitely has been a correction in certain pockets, in certain areas. I know Sydney is certainly feeling it, and we generally follow Sydney 4 to 6 months behind. But as a business owner and an agent, like we were talking about, I see this as an opportunity. When things get tough, I think that's when the cream rises to the top. That's where people really value, your skill and your work ethic and your methods and going that extra mile, but also your honesty and your integrity, like price the property properly. Overpricing we're seeing everywhere, but those properties sit on the market and they do not sell, and it ends up costing them a lot. So I see this as a really good opportunity for us to, take us to even the next level.
Because time can be everything. Like, for example, there was someone we were talking to earlier, had something worth 3 million and then had to panic and sell for 2.1. And that was just a time thing.
Yes.
So your knowledge based on going, hey, we could get more, but you could also get a lot less.
Yeah, that's right.
Typically the market takes advantage, this is my view, takes advantage of when they see a price point and then they have to lower it. Is that true? Because it feels like I told you so.
Yeah.
To the buyer, like where they're like, it wasn't that, it should have been this, and now I'm going to make you feel that it should be this.
Yeah, that's true. It's the same as like if something fails at auction, so to speak. That's why you've got to be really careful with how you price and your strategy. But humans are wired. Like if I come in and say your property is worth 3 million and a next agent says, well, I'll get you 3.5, even though there is no data that backs that up, they will still want the 3.5. It's just the way we are wired. Not everyone does, but generally that's what happens. But that's where you're seeing them sit on the market and it drops and drops, and they might end up at 2.7 because they overcooked it to start with. So I really advise everyone, look at the data. All of the data's there, and the sales data, it tells you a story pretty quickly. Everyone thinks their home is worth more, and so do I. I think mine's worth more as well. But just make sure you're doing your homework is what I would say.
You've recently, on social media, we talked about that, you jumped in a pool.
I did, yes.
Tell us about that, because I saw it. I was like, that's pretty cool. Certain place, certain price point, and went, I want to celebrate this by jumping in the pool. That's the short version? But
that is a short version. So I always think you've got to create a niche somehow, and I think that is something that I have learnt to do even with social media. So for years when I've achieved a really good price, I've done the good old, the Toyota jump thing, and even with Burner Street, the one it went crazy on social media. I jumped off the fence, but it looked like I jumped so high. I did cheat. And then I even went as far as buying, I bought a mini tramp, and I broke a record recently, and we jump and do it's just being unique and being different. And then with this other one in Bar Beach Ave, it was the high sale for the region so far, 7.6 million. What can I do that's going to bring some attention to it? I'll jump in the pool. But that was so high.
Yeah,
I had to climb up on the filter. I was shaking. Girls better get this shot.
That would have been better.
Yeah.
On the beforehand.
It was. There is. My HR doesn't want it to go up because it's not the safest. But
no, there was really scaffolding, plenty of safety.
Of course, it was very. Yes, I had a floaty on. It was all good. But that's had nearly 100,000 views and shared 900 times. But again, it's a short clip of how showcasing the sale, just being a bit fun. Real estate is a very polished business, and I think it's good to have a bit of a laugh. We do bloopers all the time. They're one of our most popular reels. We like to tell a story. We like to be educational, not too braggy, but just doing stuff like that is is what I think has made Salt a success.
It is a fine line because, actually, probably just on the social media front, like Gavin Morris, just down here's your water. Gavin Morris is now the Lord Mayor.
He is, yes.
And that is from being a familiar face that is polished on the news every day at 6:45 or whatever when he reads the weather.
Yeah.
That's a brand
Correct.
that people voted for. Now, whether he's great at it or not, but what it is, it's social media that puts you in people's lounge rooms in a place where they go, hey, there's Lyndall. We see her again. We know her. We trust her. She's, having fun. She's real. Like, that's important.
Yeah, it really, like people say to me all the time, we feel like we know you because we see you on our socials every day. And going, like competing with, say, the older school agents that don't do socials, it's giving you a leg up, but it's also making you top of mind. It's the same, like another thing I did when I started Salt. Most agents do a calendar every year that goes on the fridge with their face and the dates, and they get thrown out and they get 7 or 8 calendars for different agents. So I was like, how can I stay on people's fridge? What can I do to make them pick mine? So I just did a smaller magnet with my face, my brand, my number, and I put a clip on it. Now, those clips and those magnets have got me that many listings. It's ridiculous. So there's thousands of them now.
You've made it practical.
Yeah, but, people put their bills, they put their party invitations, their kids' artwork, whatever it is. But every time they go to the fridge, they're seeing my face. Then they get on social media, they're seeing my face. Then they open the newspaper, they're seeing my brand or my face. It's that constant... same with all the sponsorship. I'm really big on the sponsorship. You've really got to invest in putting your product or your brand or yourself out there, and I think you'll always get it back.
What's the fine line on socials where you want to be professional, you want to be relatable, you want to be fun? How close do you have to toe the line?
Look, as women, I think I've got a few sort of standards and rules that I expect for my team around that. We're all women. And like the way you look to me is really important. Maybe in starting out at 19, working with pretty much all men my whole career, I've had to really fight extra hard because of that female piece. Not so much anymore, of course, but so with that on social media, I don't want to see your tits out, for example. I don't want to see your high skirts. I don't want you in jeans or a midriff. Like, if you want to be treated as a professional, you need to look like a professional. And I have certain standards like that, even silly things like I like closed-in shoes. I don't want to see your toes. I know it's simple. If you're doing a listing presentation, you always wear a jacket. First impressions count. So that I think is one part of it. You don't swear, you don't carry on, but you don't say things that aren't true. Like every agent is we're number one or we're the best. No, they're not. But I just think just be honest in what you're putting out there. Be educational. Don't be too braggy and have some fun with it.
You mentioned the women part.
Yes.
22, was it, staff?
22, yeah.
22 women only. Is that a conscious thing? Is that an organic thing? Like, no matter what industry, that's pretty rare.
It is, yeah. And it definitely, again, it happened organically. I actually hired a gentleman. He was my 3rd employee. It's actually the only person I've ever sacked, but anyway. So again, working with mainly men my whole career, I just was loving the vibe of working with women. And I was up to about 5 or 6 women, and I had a couple of women agents, and I had a really gun male agent, a really lovely guy too. Told me he wanted to come and work at Salt. And I was like, oh man, this could be good. He's a good earner, And I remember my mindset coach, Jet, he said to me, well, it's time for you to make a decision. I've got 2 questions for you. Are you are you here to make money or do you want to create a legacy? And I was very quickly, no, I want to create a legacy. So said no to him and have said yes to many women, and it's been awesome, actually. Love it. Changed a few lives. It's been cool.
That is cool, because it is, a harder environment. When I say that, that's the wrong choice of words. Being a woman, usually maybe mother of a household, responsibilities around that,
Yes.
work-life balance, juggling that, it's difficult.
It is.
So how accommodating, like how have you, when you say you've changed people's lives, is it around that area, how you've been able to assist in that, or what is it?
I think when I say change people's lives, for example, there's an amazing agent that works for me, Crystal, and she was my 4th or 5th hire. She was blow drying my hair. She was a hairdresser. She told me she was going to close her salon, thinking about going into selling, didn't know retail. And I was just thinking, man, she'd be a good agent. Like hairdressers, they're good yakkers.
Yeah, they are.
Anyway, I said, look, let's have a coffee. She's now my number 1 agent. She'll write over 1.5 million in sales, which puts her in the top of the region. And financially, she's probably earning 8 or 9 times more than what she was. She's a single mum. It's changed her life. She is so proud of herself. I'm so proud of her. The whole team is so proud of her. But for other women to see what she's done and stepped into a new career and completely changed her life, it's very inspiring. And to be a part of that and to encourage her and to watch it happen, it's such a privilege, really is.
So many builders trial systems, ideas, estimating tools, resources for decades and sometimes never nail it. The Not Just a Builder program is a way for builders to get access to all the right systems, all the right training and the help to set up your business well so that you're nailing it from the start. The program covers business strategy, marketing, accounting, scheduling, job costing, time management, ways to retire, and much, much more. So if you're a new business or a 20-year-old business, check out the Not Just a Builder program on the C Business Solutions website.
How much of it's business development versus personal development?
I think it's a bit of both. I think a lot of who you are is who you are. So how I hire, people will say to me, you've got such a great culture, such a beautiful team. How have you done that? And again, I think it's trusting your gut, but it's hiring for the personality, their values and their work ethic. I can teach you the rest. I know how to sell. I can teach you how to do it, but they have to want to do it. And they need to be able to put everything into it. What was the question again?
Oh, I was just talking about personal versus business.
Personal versus business.
Yeah.
But you've got to have the drive. But like I said before, I think work ethic beats skill 9 times out of 10. I've seen so many awesome agents, but they're lazy, and they could have been so much better. When I've seen other agents that are not polished, but they kill it because they're the first one in and the last one out, and they create good relationships.
And because the reason I ask is because I genuinely, personally want to change people's lives, for the better, and that fulfills me the most. To make $1, that's nice, but if I run into someone in 20 years' time, I want to go, hey. I want them to go, hey, you made a difference in my life, no matter what it is. And that's why I was asking about the personal stuff, because, if you can do that, not just by making money, but even by better health, better knowledge, better, resilience, better, even some of their own personal goals and facilitating that, that's the cool part.
I think so too. And I think even when you take the business out of it, the women in our business, they all get on so well. That part has even changed their lives, where they come to work and they're happy every day. They have women that support them, encourage them. the weekends, like I just had 3 of the staff just went with their kids and their partners and went to Vivid on the weekend. Like, I love that. It's changed their lives at work, but it's also changed their lives outside of work, and it's really connected these beautiful people that support each other, and being able to offer them flexibility. The girls never miss a hat parade or the important things, to be able to do that for anyone in my office. Your kids come first, your family comes first. It is a privilege, but it should be that way for everyone, in my opinion. It's hard as a mum, and as well as mums like Belinda, one of my staff, her son ended up in hospital and, fell over and split his head open, and just go, babe, like just go. They're the ones that will always get the call, or their kids are sick. Our office is like a daycare some days, but I love that. Trying to, show everyone that as mums you can still do it all. It doesn't have to be a certain set way, and to be able to offer them flexibility where they feel really proud of their career, they're making money, they're feeling important, they've got independence. Being independent as a woman is so important, and it doesn't have to be one or the other. I'm really proud of that.
Speaking of do it all, you are one that does it all. How do you balance it all? As in, I'm talking family, kids, health, run a business. What's a normal day look like for you?
Yeah, it's pretty busy. Well, like this morning,
pretty busy.
This morning, I'm not naturally an early riser, but I was up at 5. I didn't want to get up straight away, so I try and have downtime, put a podcast on. Get up, have coffee, go to Pilates. I love my Pilates. Pilates is my mental break. What are you giggling at?
I was loving Pilates, sorry. Ash loves the Pilates and made us do Pilates.
Too. It's a mental reset. It's like I've always loved the gym, but always have my phone, because I'd have a podcast or I'd have music, and then my phone would ring, and then you'd see an email, and it wasn't that mental checkout, whereas Pilates, it's so good. Love it.
Sorry, I always rip her off about Pilates. It's not a hard enough workout. And she's like, come do one like this. And I had too much pride to admit it was hard. So,
I took my husband to one and he could barely walk for a day. He's like, okay, I get it. But little things like that. So with my Pilates studio, once a month, I hire the whole studio, and I get
I did see that. Yeah.
And so the girls get time out 2:00, and they get to do a Pilates class for an hour and go back to work. So little things like
allowed.
that. No phones allowed. We just giggle the whole time, but trying to encourage them to look after their health and their wellness and stuff as well. But yeah, my day is pretty nuts. I have 3 kids. Actually, it's my eldest 17th birthday today. Happy birthday, Carter. So I've got Carter 17, Heath will be 16 in October, Chelsea will be 13 in September. So it's pretty busy. It's hormone house at the moment. Let me tell you. Try and get to Pilates, and then I'm at the office, and it doesn't stop. My phone is pretty hectic. Always have a meeting, a whip we call it, with my team. This morning I hosted a sales meeting where I did some training every Tuesday. And then I generally work probably later than I should, I'm not going to lie. Some days it's 7:00, some days it's 8:00. I try and get home for dinner on the table at least 3 to 4 nights a week, but I'm the first to admit I'm not the best, and it's something I'm definitely trying to work on. And then even after dinner, I might be back on the laptop. It's something that I need to work on, and I have been working on it, and I think it's just been, I've said it, I think, about 1 million times, by the way. That is obviously my word of the day. It's something that I need to improve on, and I keep saying I'll slow down next year, and it's been 4.5 years and I'm working harder than ever. So I don't know the answer to that, because every time I think I've got something sorted, something else pops up that takes my attention away. So, yeah, I'm still figuring that out. Having more people around me in management, like HR, marketing, operations, that has definitely helped. And not taking on every single sale. I really want to focus on growing my team and coaching the agents in my office. But it's hard to say no. Like, I'm very driven, and when you've been going flat out one way for so long, it's hard to turn around and go, oh, I'm just going to take a little bit more of a back seat. But it's certainly something that is my goal for next financial year. We're pulling my targets back. So wish me luck with that. And I think even little things like booking a massage or taking time out last night, trying to spend one-on-one time with my kids. You're talking about my family. I had a date night with Heathy Pops, my middle boy. We went and saw a movie and went out for dinner. So it's really quality over quantity with my kids, and just making sure that I get that time, and one-on-one time is really important. It's same with my husband. But yeah, it's been a lot. It's hard. It's hard.
It is. And, wealth is determined by money sometimes, and it's health and it's time, but we've all got the same amount of time. It's how we use it.
Yeah.
Actually, some great advice someone I sat with, and I was going through a similar journey many seasons ago, and he said to me, he goes, then what? Let's say you do this, and then what? I was like, oh, but we've done that. And he goes, cool, let's say you do that, but then what? And he kept saying, then what? Then eventually hit a point you're like, oh, what the hell am I doing this for? You know what I mean? And you hit a point where you go, okay, what does that look like? You know, and then building around that was just an eye-opener for me to realise there will always be something. Always chasing, something. And there's some hurdle, you know.
I think for me, like the ego was what was probably driving the success. Like, I was out to prove something. And I think that's kind of what fed. I just really wanted to make it happen. And I think that's something that kind of really fed me. But I feel like I've kind of pulled back on that now, and it doesn't matter like it used to. I feel like, oh no, I think I've done it. But I think you're older. Like, I'm 46. You don't, you give less cares as you get older. And so I feel like I've done it. I've ticked that box. I've empowered these women. I've created a space for women in our industry. And now it's time for me to focus more on having that balance and that family time. One thing I do non-negotiable is lots of holidays. So we're about to go overseas for nearly 3 weeks. We did Japan in January. We did Africa and Dubai in October. We ski every year. So
market research, of course.
Of course, yes. But not being able to give that quality time day to day is too hard for me, because I am too much of a workaholic. Whereas if I go away on holidays and my phone's diverted, I get that quality time every school holiday. So it's just having little tools like that ensures that connection with my family. And yeah, but it's been bloody hard. I'm not going to lie, really hard.
What, you look 10 years into the future, what's it look like?
Retired,
done?
Yeah.
So here's the tricky part. Most people who are retired start up again because they're like you seem someone who's energetic, driven, all the rest of it. What do you channel that into?
I don't know. I don't think I will still be selling real estate, certainly in 10 years' time. Like, I've been working every Saturday for 28 years. I think I would love to continue with more of the mentorship. I love that. Maybe more like coaching, mentoring, lots of extra holidays, maybe grandkids. I don't know. But, yeah. I don't know. What about you? What's yours 10 years look like?
I don't know. No one flips it back onto me. Good strategy.
Yeah. What do you think? How old are you?
I am 44.
Okay.
I love what I do. And I'm fortunate enough that I could do that. But I choose not to, because I love what I do. I love spending time with my team, growing people. And I guess I like people achieving the most the most they can.
Yeah.
And if I can help them squeeze more out of life or be content or, rip in some way, that fulfills me the most. And that sort of is my retirement, if you like, in my head, because I enjoy it. It just may not be as frequent and it may not be as intense, but I think I'll always do something.
Yeah.
But, thanks for flipping it back onto me.
No worries. Yeah, I think that's the same. Like, I love the industry. I'm really passionate about it, but will I still be doing opens on a Saturday in 10 years? I don't think so. I would hope that I can sort of sit back and run the business or help by then. You certainly get wiser as you get older, don't you?
Trim the hedges, I reckon. So what I mean by that is not physically the hedges. You could do that. But you've got a great business. Now it's just refine it.
It is.
Tidy it up, plant a new tree, trim the hedges, build it in again. That's where it gets good. And if you can take someone who retired, I said to him, what I said, it's not about your volume. It's about, light touch, heavy impact. So little light touches, but heavy impact on the business or heavy impact on individuals. That's where you can just sprinkle, a little bit of magic dust where you need to. So
love that.
Maybe it's your light impact, heavy touch.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. I think the biggest struggle is time, right? That's the thing that we all seem to, no one's ever got enough time. I think trying to leverage that is the key for me moving forward, for sure.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your journey. Thank you very much
pleasure.
for sharing what your journey could be in 10 years' time.
Thank you.
And I hope to check in and see what it's like. So thanks for being part of the podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's been awesome.
Thanks for joining us today for the Building Business podcast. There are more episodes on the way. And if you ever need help, get in touch with C Business Solutions.